But at the same time, there's a link that he's putting the pieces together on right now, and he's been traveling the country doing some lectures, and it's a really interesting style because he does almost like a grand jury in his lecture with the audience, and you can purchase tickets to be a part of it, blah, 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 blah. But he has a very strong link and a lot of evidence that actually points to H.H. Holmes being Jack the Ripper as well.
Yeah, I've actually heard that on more than one occasion.
Yeah,
because they've never found Jack the Ripper. They've always had a bunch of leads and stuff like that, but nobody's ever had concrete evidence of who he is. And given the fact that the murders happened when H.H. Holmes was over in England at medical school, there is a very good chance that the Jack the Ripper killings may have been H.H. Holmes' first killings. Yeah, I was aware of that evidence.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
His experimentations. Yeah. Well, not experimentations. I can't because Jack the Ripper was very precise.
Yeah. But it's very cool.
You know, I actually applaud him for stepping up and accepting that that's where his family's heritage comes from. I think so many people are afraid to identify with stuff like that. I mean, look at poor Ben Affleck, who just tried hiding the fact that his family owned slaves.
Yeah.
He was very embarrassed by it, and I understand that. I don't think he was trying to hide it up because he didn't want people to know, but because that is such a sensitive thing. I think he was afraid it was going to reflect poorly on him as a person. Who Ben Affleck is right now has nothing to do with what his family did owning slaves, over 100 years ago. And this poor gentleman who finds out he's related to H.H. Holmes, he had nothing to do with that. There's nothing he could have ever done to help stop anybody's victimization. It's cool that he's actually lending a hand and trying to help people and give people closure.
Yeah, and he really is.
Why not embrace it? So many people these days have an identity crisis where they don't know where they came from or what their history, their familial history, and to at least know, embrace it. You can't change it, and it's not going to do you any good to try and change it. It's not going to do you any good to run from it.
Right.
So embrace it and learn from it, and be proud of your past. Be proud that you have one.
Lauren, I couldn't agree more. I actually think that what you just said, like having an identity crisis, I really think that's what draws so many people to the paranormal. So many people who feel lost and they have this emptiness in them. Even if it just goes to, what happens when we die, that paranormal door opens and they find all these other people who identify with them. Think about how close-knit the paranormal community is. It's a second family for a lot of people. So anybody who is having an identity crisis, anybody who feels a little bit lost, there's the paranormal. Just jump right in and you're on the team.
Yeah.
Right.
So
pretty much how
you're right.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, you can continue. I interrupted you. That was my fault. Are you still there, Calvin?
I think
I'm here. I just didn't want to talk already. It's so weird not being able to see like people's facial cues for conversation. Just talking over the phone is so weird.
But you're absolutely correct about the paranormal, where it's developed into that family because so many people do, like you said, getting back to the skeptic thing. There's so many people who are skeptical and they look at you, and once they hear any little thing, like we'll wear our sweatshirts, because we don't do it because we want everybody to know, hey, they're paranormal investigators. We do it because it's good advertising to walk around and have our website open back, and people can go, oh, MGH Paranormal. Yeah. If you don't want to ask the question, then you can go on our website. It's right there. You can go home and check it out and talk to us in private. But you get so many looks like, oh, you guys hunt ghosts, huh? You believe in that?
Hey, you guys find ghosts? You talk to ghosts?
It gives you, we joke in the paranormal, we joke about the black shirts. We all have to have our black T-shirts, and we've all got to get our shirts. It's funny, but at the same time, it's that identifier that if people see them, it sparks conversation. Yeah, you get a little bit of ridicule with it, but like you just said, if there's somebody like-minded who's searching for that group of people that maybe they can connect with, well, if you're walking around wearing a T-shirt that says you're there, it's going to open that communication up for them to be able to come and say, hey, I've always been curious about this.
That's like, I wish I could go to WouijaCon because I for so long stayed away from Ouija boards, not because I was afraid of them, but because I just wasn't sure, like, what if something did happen?
Yeah.
What if I did invite them? Right? Like, what if I did invite something in? I don't know how to handle it.
Yeah.
WouijaCon is like the perfect place for people to go who are curious about that.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think to learn more about the Ouija board in general, right, Calvin, would be.
Absolutely. And that's actually what my presentation is about. I actually walk everybody through how I went from being, a believer to a devout skeptic. And I show you the questions that I asked and had to research and learn on my own to guide me through to get to where I am right now. The poor Ouija board, man, it is the bastard child of pop culture. It started out as such a fun family game, and before you knew it, its reputation took off and got such a negative connotation. It always is funny to me how many people say they would never come into my house because they'd be too terrified. And I got to tell you, I walk around in my socks and underwear. It's the most comfortable place in the world for me. I should never be scared at my house. Maybe that's why they're afraid. They're afraid they're going to see me in my socks and underwear. It's not the reason. So it's funny, and I think a lot of it is just because people readily accept what others have told them are things that are bad. You really have to do the homework yourself and find out where did this opinion that somebody else gave me come from. It's just a board game, How can it ever do anything bad to you? And that's actually what my presentation is about. Like I said, I wish you guys could make it out. I think you guys would take a lot away from it.
Listen, just have the two-headed turtle record it for us, all right? One on audio, one on video.
It's interesting that you said that about the talking boards because for the longest time, we all at some point were told, hey, stay away from Ouija boards. Don't go near Ouija boards. And you get that sort of ingrained into you. And then as you begin to learn a little bit more about them and you become an investigator, you sit back and you go, Ouija board's really no different than my digital recorder.
Or myself.
Or myself, or anything else I'm using to ask a spirit to make contact.
Yeah, listen, if Calvin says, I want my walls to bleed, and he says it just to the open room, or if he says it on the Ouija board, what's the difference?
Right.
Right.
And that's exactly it. It's your intent, not your vessel. Yeah. It's the intent of what you're doing. Yeah. And, if a skeptic can get behind and learn about the Ouija board and learn the history of the board and be involved in the boards, but just remember that just because it's a Ouija board doesn't mean that it has to definitely be paranormal.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's a board game.
Right.
It wasn't created to be paranormal. It was created as a fun family board game.
Yeah.
And somewhere along the way, it's taken that turn. And it's an interesting subject. So if you're listening, I know we have a lot of people down in the Baltimore and Philadelphia area that do listen. Get out to OuijaCon this weekend.
Yeah.
Hear Calvin speak. Do you know what day and time you're speaking?
Absolutely. I am speaking on Saturday from 1:30 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. and my presentation is called The Ouija Board: Fact versus Fiction.
Cool.
Nice.
Very cool. Well, I wish we could be down there to see it. We've got like a minute or so left here, so why don't you plug anything you want to plug here before we say goodnight?
Even if you guys can't make it out, please turn into tbhs.org. Please support us any way you can. We are going to be opening up membership and selling T-shirts and everything soon. We are a nonprofit organization, and we are dedicated to preserving history and educating others. Thank you, Mark and Lauren, so much for having me on. I had a blast.
Oh, you can't leave yet.
No, hey, and like I said, if you guys are ever in Connecticut, just drop me a line. I'll have you guys over, and I'll show you off the collection. I'll let you pet the turtle.
We'll be talking because I have this big angel back piece that I want to have done, and I think I want to talk to you about it.
It looks just like the generic black shirt.
No,
okay.
it doesn't.
I'm kidding.
Like
no, but Calvin, before you go, I do have one quick question for you. For the Talking Board Historical Society, the endowment fund, how can people donate to that? Is that on the website also?
You know what? I am actually not the one to get information for that.
Okay.
It might be available through the website. There might be just a donation button through PayPal that I think people can click on and donate any kind of amount they want.
Okay,
Cool. Well, we appreciate you coming on tonight. No worries, man. Thank you so much for coming on, and we will be getting in touch with you soon. We'd love to actually have you on again sometime.
Yeah.
This was an awesome time.
Yeah, anytime, guys.
All right, brother. Thank you very much, Calvin.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Thank you, too. Bye-bye.
That was Calvin Von Crush, thrown into the mix here, and he did an awesome job.
Oh my God, I have so many more questions to ask him. Like flipping through my notes, like wait, hold on, wait.
It was a good time. It was a good show. Good.
I think perhaps it's not that he walks around in his socks and underwear. I think perhaps it's that he has prostitute bones.
It could be the prostitute bones. Although I'm not going to say somebody in the chat room was very interested in the prostitute bones and they might want to take them home. I'm just saying.
Bones.
I'm not pointing
prostitute
any fingers
bones.
at Dr. Spector. But very interesting guy.
Oh yeah.
I do want to check out his collection.
Calvin, listen, let me tell you, if you need anyone to catalog that thing, I am an archaeologist, former museum curator, can do that for you.
It was pretty interesting conversation. So we're about out of time on the show for tonight. Please stay tuned and hang around if you'd like.
Drinks with Tiffany.
We would like you to hang around.
Yeah.
To check out Drinks with Tiffany. She has an awesome guest, former, I think, champion and contestant on Ink Master will be on tonight.
Ooh.
And then after Tiffany's show, at 9 p.m., we will have Christina George with Aliens, UFOs and Beyond. Or UFOs and Aliens and Beyond.
Tattoo artist on tonight, huh?
I know. How about that?
Cool.
But
I see a theme.
But we want to thank Deadly Grounds Coffee for being our sponsor.
Yeah.
We want to thank D.T.M Wicked Radio, who you're listening to us on right now.
Yes.
They're amazing people, and we can't thank them enough for having given us this opportunity and giving us our show last year. So we're getting close to our 1 year pretty soon. We've got a couple months here. I can't believe we haven't even been on a year yet. It feels like we've been on forever.
I know. Well, sitting here with you for an hour every Wednesday. Feels like an eternity.
I want to talk to you about that, by the way. But anyway, folks, everybody have a great night. Again, Mark and Lauren, we appreciate you stopping in. Thanks, and see you next week.
Bye.
Why are you all still listening? We've said a good night to everybody already.
Yeah, really. Get the hell out of here, man.
You shouldn't be in the chat room anymore. Everybody should go.
Go home.
No, stick around and listen to Drinks with Tiffany.
Yes.
And then right after that, UFOs, Aliens, and Beyond with
Christina George.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great night.
Calinita.
Calinita? What the heck is that?
Good night in Greek.
Oh, good night.